All right, this is problem request number 12. X cubed plus 8 equals 0. That's a perfect cube, and 8 is 2 to the third power, right? So this is a sum of two cubes. So it's x plus 2, right? What's being cubed here? X is being cubed here, so it's x. And then 8 is 2 to the third, so we'll put a 2 there. And then complete out the trinomial. You square the first term, change the sign, multiply the two terms, plus, the last term is always plus, and you square the second term. The first factor, set it equal to 0. That one's straightforward. So I just get x equals -2. And then the next one, this one cannot be factored, so you have to use a quadratic formula. A equals 1, B equals -2, C equals 4. I'm writing the quadratic formula to remind you what it is. All right, there's the quadratic formula. Now we're going to substitute these values. All right, so it's the opposite of B. B is -2, so it's +2. It's the opposite of B, square root of. And I go ahead and square it. Right? Most people make a mistake on the calculator, whatever, that when they plug in -2, they mess it up. But -2 squared is +4. -4. A is 1. C is 4. Multiply, or I'm sorry, over 2A. All right, continuing. So it's 2 plus or minus square root. Go ahead and work that out. It's going to be 4 minus 16, or -12. Over 2. Continue. -12 is -1 times 12. 2 and 6. 2 and 3. So you got a pair of 2's. You have a -1. You have a 3 left over. So the pair of 2's comes out as a 2. -1 comes out as an I. The leftover 3 stays inside over 2. Now, whenever you have a fraction that looks like this, that denominator has to cancel with both the front and the back, right? Before the plus or minus sign and after the plus or minus sign. So it goes in evenly, right? So it's going to be, final answer, 1 plus or minus I root 3, right? 2 over 2 is 1, but I didn't bother to write the 1. So we have 3 answers. Remember, this counts as 2 answers, right? 1 plus or minus I root 3, and x equals -2. That is problem 12. Same request, I have number 14. So this one, make sure you look for a common factor. So here, there's an x in both of them, so we'll take out a common factor of x. So I have a difference of 2 cubes, right? 27 is equal to 3 to the third power. Okay, so the x is going to come for a ride. And what's being cubed here? X. And keep that sign. What's 27? 27 is 3 to the third, so I bring down the 3. So whenever you go from here to here, you're basically rewriting it without the exponents, right? This is 3 to the third, so I write a 3 here instead of 27 or 3 to the third. I write it without the exponent. Okay? And then this part, I write, so this is the trinomial that comes out of this factor. So I square the first term. Right? But don't go back to this. Just go look at this one to determine what goes into this trinomial. Change that sign. Multiply those two. Right? So, okay. And then plus, and the second term squared, so that's 9. 3 squared is 9. Right? Set each factor equals 0. So you got x equals 0. You have x minus 3 equals 0. You have x squared plus 3x plus 9 equals 0. Here, you just add 3. X equals 3. And this trinomial cannot be factored, so you have to use a quadratic formula. Remember the quadratic formula? is the opposite of b, so it's negative 3 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so that's 9, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 9, all over 2 times a. A is 1. Continuing. So, not doing anything with that 3. Work this out. That's 9 minus 36 over 2. Negative 36. 9 minus 36 is what? Negative 27 over 2. And then negative 27. That's negative 1, positive 27. 3 and 9. 3 and 3. So there's a pair of 3's, and the negative 1 comes out, so that's 3i. The negative 1 comes out as an I. There's a 3 left over that stays inside the radical over 2. Now this 2 cannot cancel with anything, so I'm done with this part. So I have 4 answers. I have x equals 0, I have x equals 3, and this counts as 2 answers. This is negative 3 plus or minus 3i root 3 over 2. Right? And I was expecting 4 answers because the degree was 4. Right? The degree is 4. And that's it. That's number 14.